Hello, love. Welcome to Feeling Fridays here on the Libran Key. Messages for the highest and greatest good of the Empath Collective and the Empath Journey here on Mama Gaia, part of the Ash Collective, of course. Empaths, light workers, star seeds, and healers, awakened and awakening souls. Know that if you found this message and or if it has found you, there's something here for you. That is always the intention that I put into these messages. Thank you for being here, family. And those of you who are new to this space and this family, thank you for being here, sending each and every one of you so much love wherever you are. Commander Ashtar coming in for this Feeling Fridays message, wanting to bring in an update to the Empath Collective timelines and energy. That is what he's given me here. For May, we're moving forward into, I hear there's something about May. I don't know whether this came through last time. There was a message about, there was a message that had come through with regard to Mother Mary, and I had heard that phrase, there's something about Mary, from the film, There's Something About Mary, and the song. Okay, that's what I was hearing. But there's something about Mary. And he's giving me that same energy for the month of May. Something feels very magical about this month. He specifically also wants to come in off of the 2024 update that we had done at the beginning of the year. I'm going to link that right here because we are now moving into the next set of 4 months. And if I recall correctly, he keeps on showing me the messenger card from the Starseed Oracle deck. And I'm seeing an image of what looks like him, essentially, in this particular card. So he really wants to come through now to give us a bit of an update, especially for the Empath Collective. Of course, a timeline and energy update for the Empath Collective is what he's saying, okay? As of the date of this posting of this video. So while these messages are always timely yet timeless, because there could be something here for you whenever you actually find this message and tune into the energy, frequency, and vibration of this message, it is going to be more focused on a kind of where we are also currently as of May 2024 and moving forward into the next month and 4 months, okay? He actually is saying to me he wants to keep this simple. He wants to keep it more of a focus for the next month or so. He's even showing me now until the full moon, on the 23rd, which will be in Sagittarius, okay? So going into this message, let's see how this is gonna pan out, because we're working, he's bringing it back to cycles. He wants to really tune into the cycle thing, what's going on right now. So we'll see with regard to, he's connecting this to higher spiritual perspectives with this full moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius being the energy that is very on the spectrum of the zodiac, opposed to Gemini. Gemini energy is very, and we will be moving into Gemini season, hence the full moon in Sag, right? So the energy of Gemini is meticulous in its factual, it's in its ability to, like a sponge, absorb facts. The Gemini archetype, the Gemini energy, that's what I'm speaking to right here, okay? Obviously, if you have elements of Gemini in your chart, or you know a Gemini, like, sun sign Gemini or whatever, this could apply to them too. But he wants to bring in more the energy, the frequency here of Gemini. Gemini, very much like Mercury or Hermes, is very much connected to the day-to-day he's showing me communication and travel, okay? Hence when we talk about Mercury retrograde, right? It's usually the technology, communication goes off. This is day-to-day stuff. And he really wants to kind of emphasize the energy here of Mercury, Hermes, the god in all his forms, and also as a planet, and how the planet moves, how we get the word mercurial from Mercury. I'm also hearing quicksilver, which is another reference to Mercury as an element. Something about this energy being very quick to gather information, very quick to flit from one thing to the next. Quick energy. And what's really interesting is that in contrast to that, Sagittarius is an energy that sees a much bigger perspective and a broader perspective. So he wants to bring this in as an analogy to seeing the broader, bigger perspective. What I'm hearing him say is, you've gathered the facts, you've gathered the information, now see it from a broader perspective. There's something in the kickoff of this full moon in Sagittarius, something in the energy moving forward for the rest of the month after that of May, where there will be a shift in energy with regard to that, even though we will be in Gemini season. So there's something about that. And going back to this something about May, where the shift is going to take place. He's even saying to me, some of you may already be feeling this, where you're fact out. You're like, okay, so now I got all this information. What am I doing with it? The culmination is kind of lingering around that full moon in Sagittarius, okay? And as we go into the new moon, which I think is happening on the 7th or the 8th, depending on where you are, we're going to see a kind of amping up of that energy of really working towards this bigger picture, really working with the cycles. Because as I was going into this, there was already a moon type message that wanted to come through, but it wasn't Selene, Luna herself, who was bringing it. It was Commander Ashtar wanting to kind of give us more information, I think, around cycles. And this is going to be tied into timelines as well. He's saying we're going to get to that, not necessarily in a moment, but later. Okay, so right when I went into the meditation, I heard that song, Total Eclipse of the Heart. Again, eclipse being a reference to the moon specifically here. And I also heard this song, Blue Skies, Blue Skies. So it feels like there has been he's confirming a massive activation at the heart space with regard to the eclipse energies and the reverberation of those eclipse energies 6 months out. And he's also speaking to some kind of integration that's going to be taking place this month, essentially. Okay, at the heart space. He's also showing me light code energies, taking in the sun, hence the blue skies. When we have blue skies, the sky is clear and we are able to see the sun, okay? Also working with those color rays. I am working with blue Kyanite at the moment. Very much a color ray of blue skies. There's also something in blue Kyanite that elevates our frequency. This is a crystal that, very much like selenite, you don't need to cleanse it. I still, what I like to do with selenite and kyanite is sort of charge or tune in and amplify those energies. I still like to kind of almost do a bit of almost like I don't even know, like leaving it outside, leaving it in sunlight, charging it that way, allowing the air to blow over it, right? I still like to kind of engage in those energies with kyanite and with selenite, for example. And they're not the only crystals that necessarily do not need to be cleansed. The only reason why we refer to that in crystals, I'm getting off topic here, but I'll mention this just as a quick aside. And if you do have any questions about this, feel free to leave a comment below or a question below. is because of their frequency. Okay, so that's where it's like we don't really need to they don't actually require a lot of cleansing, because it's almost like they're self-cleansing. They do it, they have such a fine frequency. They're so fine-tuned that and they don't really absorb energy. They're a little bit more reflective in that way too, and they have an ability to sort of brush energy off. I'm getting way off topic here. That is a whole other topic for discussion. If you're interested in any of that, please leave a comment below, okay? So I'm working with blue kyanite. I'm also working with selenite, okay? We'll get into the reasons for these crystals in a sec. Rose quartz. I'm going to be asking through the Light Seers Tarot. A lot of focus on our light frequency, energy, all of that. And the Rose Quartz Oracle, we're coming back to this total eclipse of the heart space, getting a lot of rose energy coming through for that. Okay, so essentially, kyanite with its frequency, selenite with its frequency at the heart space, okay? A lot of integration happening with that. The frequency of the heart space shifting. Also, this has to do with something that's come before in messages with regard to new love codes. I'm just going to write that down. And also how the frequency of the heart is shifting. He's showing me that this frequency of the heart shifting is not a frequency. We're talking here about the heart contains these frequencies, is how he's showing it to me. He's holding me, oh my goodness. He's holding at his heart a Merkaba. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing Metatron's cube at his heart. And interestingly enough, okay, no, he doesn't want me to go there for a second. Okay, so there is an activation. When we talk about heart activations, essentially what we're speaking to is an opening more of the energetic heart space. This isn't something that he's not showing it to me as we need to take it in. It's already there. It's as if it's laying dormant. Interesting. And I'm seeing the energy of like a dragon now. Okay, the dragon energy coming through. This had come through last Feeling Fridays. Really, really interesting. I'm seeing a dragon in a cave guarding its treasures. Okay, this is a very kind of Western perspective of dragon energy. And he's showing me this dragon emerging. This dragon knows the worth of the treasure that it has, but it also understands at some point that this treasure needs to be shared. And there's something about the dragon energy that is representing, it's like the gold, the treasure is the heart space. And the dragon energy can either really block that up, we're talking about it on a spectrum here, right? Can really protect that. He's showing me the Four of Pentacles now in the tarot, in the Rider-Waite-Smith, of this locking of energy, like around the heart, like not wanting to show anything, but it can also fly. It can also be an excellent guardian to have when we are building healthy boundaries. And that was something that came through in the last Feeling Fridays message as well, which I will now link up here because it all applies to this. So something is happening with that, okay? There's something going on with regard to us. This is what he wants to speak to for the remainder of this message is an establishing through this integration process, through this activation and integration process. Big focus energetically this month is on, with the Sagittarian energy, this full moon Sag energy. Remember, the moon is connected to, there's so many different things astrologically, but essentially he's showing me the emotional body because this is connected to empaths specifically. It's being able to see something, an experience from a higher perspective. And at the same time, understanding that there is a lot of this healthy boundaries, establishment, energy supporting it this month, in the month of May. Okay, I'm going to start by asking through the Rose Oracle. Thank you, Commander Ashtar, for that. Sophia, divine plan, wisdom, intelligence within, and destiny. What's interesting is that Sophia, okay, so this is specific to this higher perspective and being able to understand why each and every one of us experiences or has experienced certain things in our lives. We've gone through certain situations. Understanding the wisdom in it. This is also connected to soul contracts. This is also connected to what he's also referring to as soul experiences. Things that essentially we sign up for. What's interesting though is that here's where he's bringing in timelines a bit. We all have free will, and we also have trajectories that we choose where kind of like, I wish there was a game analogy for this, because I'm kind of, snakes and ladders comes to mind, but that's not exactly, it's not the best analogy to give here. But essentially, it's about choices, free will, and how certain trajectories that you continue on, there's another plan B or C, for example, that could have taken place that you end up not going down because you've chosen a different path. And he really wants to bring in here, this is kind of where he's connecting it to destiny, right? What he wants to bring in here is attuning to what is for your highest and greatest good, your highest and greatest best, and also the evolution of your journey through this heart space, especially for the empath. He's really bringing that in quite strongly. And I'm getting the energy here of Jesus Christ, of Mary, of Mother Mary. I'm getting Mary Magdalene coming through here as well. We're coming back to the rose energy and the rose lineage. So there's an energy here that's very connected to an evolution of the heart, Christ consciousness, okay? All of these are connected to this empath journey and the empath collective. And the timelines that we end up on, he's even showing me parallel timelines where you jump on one track for a moment in order to learn something, and then you jump back on the timeline that you were originally on. Evolved though, in a way where now you're bringing a higher perspective to that timeline for a reason. So there's gonna be, for the month of May, and I even feel like this is extending out to the next 4 months, a real emphasis on that, especially for the empath collective. Yeah, okay. I don't want to make this video too long. The breathing rose, heart healing, emotions, connection, time eases. Okay, this is exactly what is going on as we move forward. Lots of heart healing with that, especially with that crystal energy coming through with the rose quartz and the selenite and the kyanite, the blue kyanite. All right. And through that heart healing, we establish very healthy boundaries. That dragon energy is coming through as well. Keep on seeing this cave again. This dragon guardian. Okay. Plant yourself here. Integration. Yep. Embodiment. Grounded action. That's what's happening. Currently, he's showing me that is the energy, the most energetically how we're being supported right now. Morning dew, clarity, a fresh start, a positive outlook. This is with regard again to the boundaries. Clarity, a new way of seeing things from this heart healing and integration, and having a more positive outlook, especially with regard to that third perspective and what you've experienced and what you've gone through and where it has led you. Essentially, I'm hearing the phrase, it happened for you. It is happening for you, not to you. There's a lot here as well with regard to a whole refashioning, well, there's revitalization that's going to come through it. But what I'm getting is like we're refashioning our outlook, essentially, especially around victimhood consciousness or victimhood mentality. Like the whole why me, why me? It's interesting because he's showing me that there's two ways to kind of ask this question, right? You can say, why me? In a very honest, pure way to go deeper, to heal, to get to the root, right? Coming back to this plant yourself here, to get to the root of what's going on. Or you can ask it in a way that is essentially disempowering, like you're not in control. And you are a victim of your circumstances, okay? The wild rose, do it your way. Embrace your uniqueness untamed. Beautiful. That is already an energy that has been happening for the last little while, especially with regard to our spiritual journeys and where we're at. He's saying, think of your heart as a wild rose. Every rose is different. Do it your way. The untamed heart, love, whispers of Mother Earth, creativity, ideas, inspiration, artist, writer, channel. That's beautiful. This may be a specific confirmation for some of you watching this who are contemplating getting nudges about writing, about doing work, channeling information, connecting to Mama Gaia. If you are a Gaia worker, if you resonate with that, another confirmation here. Also the lineage of the rose, huge confirmation here. A lot of really beautiful energy coming through. Very much about integration and healing. Very divine feminine. Very connected to our creativity. But I'm also getting, interestingly enough, a masculine energy coming through with regard to this clarity. I'm getting it also in the dragon energy of setting healthy boundaries, okay? Perhaps some of these boundaries are also with regard to your own creativity, projects, things you want to work on, ideas, things you're inspired by, and you're getting like shat on them by people who just don't get it. And it's like, you know what? Maybe it's just about not talking to those people anymore about it. You know, creating a boundary there and being like, I don't want to have to hear this over and over again. Or maybe it's about being like, you know what, to that person or those people or whatever, and just saying like, if you got nothing nice to say, then don't say it. Thank you. Love you. You know, Four of Wands as I cut the deck. That's beautiful. That is an energy of spiritual, energetic stability. Okay. You getting grounded, plant yourself here. That's echoing this card again, okay? Planting yourself here. That is another nod to this integration work. Death in reverse, okay? So, interesting. There's an energy here of drawing through this process. So that wanted to pop out. Look at that, the star in reverse. Okay. There's an energy here of drawing in. This healing is happening in a way that you're going to least expect it. Because you are not focused on the healing, you are focused on, interestingly enough, what's coming through here, in understanding where those boundaries are. Is that interesting? The integration is happening almost on its own. I'm being shown as long as you're being honest with yourself. Also awareness in every moment, every situation of your day-to-day life. Energy of like, you know, when something particularly, I don't know, you're talking with somebody and you hear yourself say something where you're like, did I just say that? Do I even believe that anymore? And being like, in that moment, recognize, there's a huge integration that takes place in moments like that, right? Is what he's showing me. Where you realize, like, why, where does that come from? Because the truth of me and who I am and my soul would never say something like that. But you have to have gone on a journey, right, of that to get to that point, to be able to be like, that's not actually who I am. That's who I was. And I wasn't even that, because that was part of the way that I was, you know, programmed to believe certain things, or, you know, grew up thinking, and all of that, right? Hence that kind of, it's a nod back to that ego death, but it's happening in ways you would least expect it. That's why that death card is coming up in reverse, and the star is coming up in reverse as well. It's happening in ways you would least expect to happen. Interesting, because Commander Ashtar is actually pointing me to the caption on that card, grounded action. It's in the grounded actions that you're taking where these integrations are actually happening. So it's like you living in alignment and acting with grounded action in alignment with the truth of who you are, because you've been peeling back those layers. Look at that. 4 of Wands came out in reverse this time. And the World in reverse. With the 9 of Swords in reverse at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so he wants to acknowledge here the fact that this has been a very destabilizing process for us. It's almost like I'm feeling him getting very technical about this, and from a very cosmic perspective, he wants to bring that in for a moment. So it's almost like he's bringing, it's natural, it's only natural if we just remove emotion from this situation for a moment here. Remove victimhood consciousness for a moment here from this particular, you know, the upheavals that we have in our lives, the shakeups, okay? He's showing me a pendulum swinging and then coming back into balance again, coming back into stillness again. So this 4 of Wands and the World in reverse is essentially an energy of this pendulum swinging out of control, feeling discombobulated, feeling off in our physical bodies, having gone through different experiences, okay? The nightmares, the negative energies, and when I say negative energies, negative thought formations, limiting beliefs, all of that stuff, all this stuff that we kind of know are, especially within our nervous system, just trying to keep us safe, right? All that dysregulation that we're purging, because we've got this in reverse coming out of that energy. And so much of this is around our thoughts, right? Our thoughts, which come as a result of the emotional disruptions, which come as a result of the nervous system dysregulation. Spiritually, this has us very off. It's got our world literally upside down. Like things we used to do that we enjoyed doing, even things that we just kind of did on automatic, not happening anymore. Because even though these are coming out in reverse, they're coming out really, really positively. They really are. He wants me to pick this card up. Yeah, look what's at the bottom of the deck as I pick this up. So he just wanted me to show this card underneath. This is us coming into alignment. The Page of Wands is a free spirit. It's a free spirited energy. It's an energy very much connected to Sagittarius, this full moon in Sag. This Page of Wands, this is fire energy. Sag is fire element, right? This is an energy of being eager to expand, to grow, to learn, to express ourselves creatively, okay? To not be bogged down by any more limiting beliefs, any other people who are gonna like talk shit to us. we can't control those things, right? And the process is ongoing, especially when it comes to the purging that we have to do for this, okay? He's really saying now, he's reminding me, this is actually an energy of transmutation, right? Like you're basically, essentially transmuting those thoughts with your awareness, okay? Your energy, your frequency, and your vibration, transmuting those thoughts into your highest and greatest good, your highest and greatest evolution of the heart. That's what's coming up. I'm going to end the reading there, okay? Yeah, he wants me to end the reading there. Okay, plant yourself here. Just coming back to this energy to close out this reading, because it's in the grounded action and the day-to-day things that we are doing that we embody these energies that we have integrated into, okay? Thank you, Commander Ashtar, for being here with us. Thank you, Spirit, for these beautiful messages. I thank you for being here, for sharing your time and your energy with me in this space, with us in this space. I'm sending you so much love wherever you are. In love and liberation always.